Hi everyone, Kenzy Johnston here with the Tri-State Livestock News. Thank you for following along with these interviews as we discuss issues within our cattle industry and try to find how the industry can achieve fair cattle markets. Make sure to check out our website, fair-cattle-markets.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm talking about fair cattle markets with Brett Kenzy of Gregory, South Dakota. Can you tell me a bit about your involvement within the cattle industry?
Grew up on it. My brother and I worked from a very young age. You know, there wasn't all the entertainment when I was a kid, so we did it all. You know, 12 years old, you were out running the feed wagon or whatever. And I guess you know, I worked all through high school at home, went to the Army for 3 years, went to SDSU and got a bachelor's degree in animal science production. When I left, I never thought I wanted to come back, but once I was gone, I missed it. So that's why I ended up going for animal science. Other than that, we've been here full time. My brother and I both. He went to Botech too, but yeah, we're full partners. Our mother still works at this. We have kids that work with us, and I guess all of our income comes from the cattle business, and we're fully invested and doing our part in what steers this industry. We consider to be just as important as the seed stock we buy, the rations we feed, how we market. It's all a piece of the puzzle.
Okay. Do you hold any leadership positions within the cattle industry with any associations, organizations?
I'm Region 3 Director of RCAF USA, which is South Dakota, North Dakota, and Nebraska.
Okay.
Very proud to represent those states.
Okay.
We're pretty proud folks up here in the north. We work awful hard. We do the work of cash negotiation for the industry.
Good.
And no slights against anybody else, but I couldn't be prouder to live in South Dakota.
Good. All right. So what do you feel are the major issues facing the cattle industry today?
Price. Number one factor in sustainability is being able to make an income, being able to make a living. Let's not make this about me, but you know, we've got a cow-calf herd. We have a permitted 3,000 head feedlot. We run 1,000 head of yearlings on grass. We finish cattle. We finish program cattle, NHTC, and verified natural. We split market. We contra-seasonal market. Tell me what more I can do to make money. I need some help. I need some competition for what I'm raising. We have such a good product. People want our product, but we're going to have to get involved in getting some competition into this industry. And I guess that's what I've devoted a great deal of my time to.
What's a solution for this problem that you feel is facing the industry today?
The overall solution is to get people involved in chasing solutions. That's the overall solution. That's the only way it will get fixed. Washington won't do it for us. RCAF won't do it. NCBA, not USCA. There's no organization that'll do it. The first thing is producer involvement. But as far as a specific issue goes, for me, mandatory country of origin labeling is the only silver bullet we've got for immediate competition to be created in this market. You know, we're the biggest part of agriculture, this beef production industry. We roll a lot of money, we create a lot of value. And, you know, really there's two anomalies that occur in the cattle business. One is that our product isn't differentiated in the supermarket. And two is the fact that so many people are willing to commit their perishable product, being fat cattle, for future delivery unpriced. Somebody explained to me how those two things just accidentally happen. We're being placed in a box in which we operate. I want out of that box. The monopoly power, I'll just go for it. I'll go all the way with it. The monopoly power has captured NCBA and USDA They have a revolving door in between them, and they're constantly coming at us. It's like watching those kids shows when you're in a room and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
That's my perception of what we're fighting, and monopoly power is what's enabled that. So that's what I think we're fighting. We're fighting monopoly power. The only silver bullet we have, number one thing, is mandatory country of origin labeling. The rest is just a lot of hard work, a lot of debate over. I'm 100% cash trade guy. I'll just be real upfront and honest. I'm a board member of RCAF. The only way that I thought that 51% cash trade was feasible is because it was a part of a package of several things. But sorry, that more than answers your question. You get me going.
That's fantastic. I want to hear more about that. So you mentioned cash trade. Obviously, it's an uphill battle. The whole cash trade, all the proposals that are being brought forward, they're an uphill battle. How do we go about getting more cash trade?
Okay, I agree with you. I don't know if we need 100% cash trade, but to take it back to the anomalies that I see, these unpriced commitments of cattle, I think that would be very feasible. I believe we have to set a cash trade floor until we can get to the point where we can get away from these unpriced commitments. Okay, I have no problem with forward contracting. That occurs in business globally every day. Yeah. But find me another industry that will pledge that perishable commodity for future delivery unpriced. There's only one thing. There's only one reason anybody would do that. Monopoly power. They're guaranteed a hook. And I think that, that's what we're fighting. I'm okay with forward contracts that are priced, but they've got to be priced, reported, need a data fix to them. We need to make sure that's what they go for. And again, all these things, some people are going to say that it sounds anti-capitalistic to get the government involved in these regulations. But when we have one rule that we don't follow, being antitrust, all of a sudden we have to have a library of rules to regulate one rule that we didn't enforce. And that's where I think we are in this country in so many different places. And that's why we get into all these different debates about all these things that we need to compete and to get value discovery. That's why nothing works now. We don't have adequate value discovery. That's why the futures don't work. Frankly, I think that's why the formula cattle are quitting. That's why the formula cattle, I think, are even starting not to work, because you hear people. The formula traders haven't come out in public yet, but I think even the formula traders are starting to feel this, and this was not a part of the deal. Right. I mean, they traded some risk for some security, and now they're ending up with none, with neither. And so it's exciting times. What was possible 3 months ago? We have a lot more on the table now if we can get together and go for something. And I don't want to destroy the Packers. We need the Packers. I'm with that. But we need our earned income.
How do you feel that MCOOL, how do you feel it affects rural America if it was reinstated? On the bigger picture, if we get MCOOL back into our industry, how do you feel that would affect rural America?
Well, I think that it would help, because it would immediately make the imports compete with us. People, I hear Namibian meat's hitting the shores. So, hey, good for us, right? Because nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. So I think that, number one, it's going to create immediate competition. Yep. Because will every consumer want to eat American meat? No. But the reason it has to be mandatory is so that when that consumer walks in and sees product of the USA versus product of Namibia, which one are they going to pick? It's not about necessarily even driving prices up. It's about creating demand and returning. When we make the people that process our cattle compete for American beef because there's demand for it, that's where the prices will increase, in my mind. Number two, national pride. I'm a veteran. I'm all about America. I'm all about rural America. The thing that has settled into me very much in the last, say, 5 years is I'm not afraid to say that rural America needs me, and I need rural America. I need, if I want my kids to come back here, say I launched a branded beef product right here, and I could run 2,000 head of cattle through here, 2 turns, that's 4,000 head, and I could make $200 per head. That'd be, I don't know, that's more zeros than I care to count. That's more money than I've made in the last 20 years, frankly. That would mean that I made it. And that would mean that I could afford to bring my children back here. But if my children don't have a town to go to the hospital, to go socialize, all the infrastructure that we need. So that's why it's so important, why we depend on each other. And frankly, it just comes down to American pride. It puts the burden on the American producer to really produce a good product, because if the product's really not good, they will go buy the Mexican beef or the Canadian beef. And that's why I'm a strong believer in mandatory country of origin labeling. Mandatory. Damn. Right? Okay.
So I recently saw this week that RCAF came forward with a petition for folks to sign for MCOOL. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, on that movement?
You bet. Carrie Crampton she started a page on the internet, U.S. Grassroots Producers, and she is an RCAF member, and we didn't necessarily want to make it an RCAF event. We want it to really be welcoming. If you look at the actual petition, it does not say RCAF on it anywhere. Okay. Yes, we were instrumental in starting it. Carrie did a ton of the work. It's not meant to be an RCAF thing. It's meant to be an American thing. Yes, we're just asking people who support mandatory country of origin labeling to help us get it reinstated. We're trying to get some attention. We're trying to show that people really do care where their food is from. And, we've gotten, I don't know what we got, 30,000 people in the first day and a half. Yeah. And that was launched predominantly to ag producers. We haven't even gotten into consumer groups and things like that yet, So our goal was 100,000 in 30 days. I hope we can, I'll say it, I hope we can get it done by May 1st, because May 1st is the opening of Beef Month. Let's make it USA Beef Month, right?
In one sentence, what does the cattle industry need the most right now?
Industry needs the self-confidence to restore competition to the industry.
I agree. All right. Do you have any closing comments before we wrap up today?
I just, I'm proud to be an American, an upper Midwesterner. I'm proud to be self-employed. I just, really what made this country possible is belief in self. It really is. The country went on forever under kings. It was just the way it was. And there was a few people that thought, you know what, maybe we deserve a little better. And I just hope that rural America can start just realizing their self-worth. They've been chipped at for so long. Oh, you're not sustainable. Oh, you should be a better marketer. Oh, you should run this kind of genetics. Oh, you should rotationally graze instead of season-long graze, or you should plant this, or you should feed this additive. It just comes at you all the time. They're nipping at you. Guys, we are creating a tremendous product. There's no better steward of the earth than a multi-generational operator. We've got to gather ourselves, really. We do. For the sake of not just rural America, but all of America. We need to just know that each and every one of us matter. If you're a 100-head cow guy in Western Wyoming, no, you're not the whole beef industry, but you're an important part of that. And, it's this industry is the sum of all parts, not just the big parts.
Right.
And I hope that people realize that it's worth fighting for and they get behind it. And we don't want to pit neighbor against neighbor, but we got to harden up a little bit and be able to have some debates too. It doesn't have to evolve into a food fight. You can say one thing and I can say another, and we can find a way forward, I think.
Right. Agree.
That's really the whole bottom line is there's been this huge debate between 30%, 50%. Kenzy, I went online and I spent hours going through studies trying to determine what the correct percentage was. I found a study that said that you can have a competitive market with zero competitive value discovery. You can still have true value discovery even with zero cash trade. And I found some that said that you needed 80% cash trade. I found some that said that it doesn't matter what the percentage of cash trade is. It's more about the number of competitors in the market. So, I mean, where I go with that is right now there's this debate of 30 versus 51 versus 100. When I say 100, I'm kind of joking.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the more the better is the only thing that I can definitively tell you in my heart. But for the people that are tired of the debate between the two, take heart in knowing that we're both going in the same direction. We need more. Okay. So really it's a matter of will, of how big we think the problem is. And I guess this too will pass. We'll get through it, but we just hope we come out of it better than we went in.
Exactly. All right. Well, with that, Brett, I just want to thank you for taking your time today to speak with us. Thank you for taking the time today to watch this interview as we continue to search for fair cattle markets within our industry. Make sure to check out our website, fair-cattle-markets.com, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook under Tri-State Livestock News.